Hey, what's happening, Black people? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I'm going to give you guys time to come into the conversation as you make your way in. I want to remind everybody that drboycetv.com is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're Black and intelligent, please throw your hands up. If you're not Black and intelligent, then you're welcome to leave. You should probably get out because these conversations will only frustrate and confuse you. So anyway, in our quest to tell the truth, I wanted to talk to you guys about something I saw this week. Alicia and I were watching this documentary on Netflix about a guy, a brother by the name of Aaron Hernandez. Say something in the chat. Give me a yes or no if you are familiar with Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez used to play for the New England Patriots. Let me know if you know who he is. Give me a yes or no if you've heard his name before, or if you know his story, or if you know what kind of went down with this brother. Aaron Hernandez, let me tell you guys a little something about this guy. Aaron Hernandez, what's going on, Queen Candace? How are you, Mariana? Good to see you. Aaron Hernandez was an extraordinary athlete. Aaron Hernandez played for the New England Patriots. Aaron Hernandez also played for the Florida Gators. Aaron was, just a stud on the field. He was a tight end that played in a Super Bowl, and he was headed to the top. He was headed to the top. He had a winning smile and amazing athletic ability, and so many things going for him. And he had a beautiful fiance. He had a beautiful child that they had together, and he seemed to have everything, in line in terms of what his life was going to be like, and also what his fiance's life was going to be like. And his fiance's name was Shayana Jenkins, if I'm not mistaken. Shayana Jenkins, and Shayana is a beautiful sister that really stood by him. I mean, really stood by him. She reminds you of the tradition of great Black women that stand by their men. And I love it. A lot of people are, are talking to her ride or die, are talking about her ride or die personality. And I admire that. I just think there's something very special and amazing about those women that will stick by their men no matter what. It doesn't mean that your man doesn't have flaws. It doesn't mean that your man can't do something wrong. But Nomalanga Mushali Moses explained it best. Nomalanga is from Botswana, where they build women real strong in Africa as well. And basically her perspective, which I agree with, is that, look, if your man did something wrong and the world is vilifying him, that's not in your job description. It's not your job to join the chorus of people that want to destroy your man. So like women like Camille Cosby, who are just built like that, the women like that, they it's not that they don't see what everybody else is seeing, but they handle things behind closed doors, or they maintain a united front, and they say, look, that's your job to try to tear him down. It's not my job. I'm not going to participate in that, which I really admire, because you have a lot of narratives out here being built that basically say, if you have a man, especially a Black man, and he makes a mistake, you're supposed to join in with the chorus of white feminists and everybody else who pretty much hate Black men. Like, you see where Kobe just died, and you had the lady from Disney basically saying he's a rapist, even though she has no proof whatsoever. And so racist women like that, who maintain that tradition of accusing Black men of whatever and always believing that they're guilty. I mean, they're the same types of people that led to the death of Emmett Till. They run around saying things like, you must believe all women. You must believe all women. Are you referring to the same women that lied on Black men and got them like castrated in public? Are you referring to the same white women that that set guys up to be killed? They had Black Wall Street burned down. Hundreds of people lost their property and were shot at because a white woman told a lie. Are those the women that we're supposed to believe? So so honestly, I will just say, I'm going to start off definitely by saying that, I saw Aaron Hernandez's fiance, Shayana. I admire her. My heart goes out to her. I can't imagine the horror that she and her family experienced. Who else does my heart go out to? My heart obviously goes out to the victims of Aaron Hernandez. It looks like Aaron killed some people. And Aaron, in case you don't know the story, Aaron was he was into some real messy shit. He was into some gangster shit, I guess. And it didn't make any sense because he played in the Super Bowl and he just signed a $40 million contract. And and for whatever reason, he ended up killing some people. And he killed several people. He didn't just kill one or two people. They claim that he killed multiple people, and I believe that he did kill some people. I believe that he committed some crimes. Now, why am I bringing this topic up today? Well, the reason I'm bringing this topic up is because one thing that people are not discussing on this Aaron Hernandez situation, and you're asking, B Sizzle's asking, what are your thoughts on his story? I think the story is sad, first and foremost. If we can agree, if you can at least agree with me that the story's sad, just type yes in the chat, just a yes or no. Can we all at least agree that the story's sad? And the reason I asked you to agree with me on that is because the story is not just sad, but it's also complicated. It's not just sad, it's also complicated. Now, why is it important for me to say that it's sad and complicated? It's because it was a tragedy. And a lot of times when there's a tragedy, we want to blame somebody, right? We want to believe it was his fault or her fault or somebody's fault. And I'm not going to say that Aaron Hernandez was not to blame, at least partially on some level, for what happened. But it's complicated because one of the things that was revealed in the Netflix documentary, which is why I warn you guys, who have sons that are playing football, is that Aaron Hernandez, and it was revealed at the end of the documentary that he had advanced brain disease, that Aaron Hernandez had so much brain damage that it was only a matter of time before he started doing things that were ridiculous and seemingly crazy and seemingly out of control. It was only a matter of time before his prefrontal cortex, because it had been torn down so much, that would kill his ability to think logically, think strategically, to have impulse control, right? You see, what people don't understand, and the reason that I have to mention, I keep repeating to you that the story is complicated, is because when it comes to the black man, and I consider Aaron a black man, he hung with nothing but brothers, and his wife was a sister, and he was a black man, he was a brother. I just really feel that way. The thing about black men is that we want to make the story simple. We want to make it simple, rather than accepting the fact that black men, especially when we talk about these NFL players, their so-called crimes are complicated. It's complicated because what you're dealing with is a sport called football where the brain damage levels are incredibly high. It's not just 2%, 3%, 8%. It's like in NFL players. Boston University did a study, and they said what percentage of the brains that you examined of dead NFL players, because they can only check for CTE, the brain injury thing. They can only check for that after you're dead. They said, what percentage of the athletes that you test actually have this brain disease? You know what they said? They said 99%. 99% of the brothers that come in here, and most of them are brothers, and some of the brothers are not black. They come in here, when we examine their brains, have brain disease, advanced brain disease. And one thing about Aaron Hernandez is that he had extensive brain disease. And in the documentary, after the documentary, when they interviewed Shayana, Aaron Hernandez's fiance, I just love that. I thought that woman was great. I thought she was gracious, just beautiful in terms of how she presented herself. And she talked about this man she loved and said that Netflix, for some reason, the people that did the documentary focused on the wrong thing. She said they made it all about his alleged sexuality. I don't know if y'all remember, if you saw the documentary, every other motherfucking sentence in this documentary was, well, if you're gay, then blah, 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 blah. Well, Aaron Hernandez was sleeping with dudes. And, Aaron Hernandez, he liked to fool around with men. And, Aaron Hernandez used to sleep with blah, blah, blah. It almost got to the point where they were almost implying to me. I don't know if anybody else saw it. Tell me yes or no if you felt the same way. It almost seemed like they were implying that all these things that happened, this crazy sequence of events, was the result of him dealing with the internal conflict of being gay. Now, I'm not here to say that, that having a secret life cannot cause you some internal turmoil. I'm not here to say that that living, a double life isn't going to cause you stress. But there's a whole lot of people out here living double lives that are not killing people, right? They think about this. What does that mean really when you're hiding something? How many of y'all in here, you ain't got to tell me what you're hiding, but how many of y'all in here would not enjoy it if somebody suddenly revealed every single thing you've ever done sexually with another person? How many of you would be a little bit embarrassed if somebody wrote a tell-all book, or if you had an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend who wrote a tell-all book about all the dirty shit that you did in the bedroom that nobody knows about? Because some of y'all in here might be freaky. Some of y'all might like threesomes. Some of y'all might have slept with the married pastor. Some of y'all might have had an affair on your wife. Some of y'all might have slept with somebody's husband, right? Like seriously, how many of you, let's just keep being honest here. I'm trying to bring it home to help you understand this. You see, when it comes to stuff like that, most people got some shit they don't want everybody to know, right? Most people got some. How many of y'all think about this? Here's one example. If you go research the 10 most trafficked websites on Earth in the world, 2 of the top 10 are actually porn sites. Did y'all know that? 2 of the top 10 are porn sites. So that means you got millions of people, not a couple thousand, not 50 people, not a few hundred, millions of people that are frequenting these websites, right? So that means you got millions of people who got some shit going on that they don't want everybody to know about. They're living a little bit of a contradiction. They got a little bit of a secret thing going on. They got some stuff going on that ain't nobody else's business. You know, like this is just between us. Like seriously. So to me, I think that for us to separate Aaron's sexuality and somehow make it special and exclusive and different and unique is a little bit misguided, because everybody's got some sexual stuff that they probably would not want to reveal to the general public. Just be real. Seriously. I mean, you know, and I'm not even judging it. I'm not judging it. I think sex is natural. It can be beautiful. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be here if somebody wasn't having sex. But you've been taught to believe that all of that's taboo. So you kind of keep that to the side. You keep it to yourself, and that's okay. That's kind of what you're supposed to do in this society. But so my point is to say that when you talk about Aaron Hernandez, he had his secrets just like you got your secrets. It's just his secrets were a little bit more surprising. How about that? But then again, I'm sure some of y'all's secrets in here would be surprising if I was to reveal it to your mama or to your girlfriend or to your husband or whatever, right? So a lot of people got some real surprising secrets, right? So go to the church. You got a whole lot of people in church right now that got surprising secrets. So what's the point? My point here is to say that a lot of people have these, you know, things going on in their lives that they don't want everybody to know about, but that does not lead them to kill. I do not believe, and on any level, that you know, and this is in contradiction to what the Netflix documentarians were trying to say. I do not believe on any level that it was Aaron's sexuality that made him go kill people. What made him kill people was very basic. It was the fact that this man had suffered so much brain damage that he was incapable of engaging in impulse control. His lawyer made it plain as fucking day, and everybody wants to make it into a gay thing because Hollywood's on this agenda. They want to make everything about the sexuality. And I'm not saying that people don't deserve fairness and fair treatment and equal rights. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying everything don't got to circle back to that. I want to know more about Aaron Hernandez beyond the fact that he might have slept with a dude. I don't care. I don't care. A lot of people sleep with dudes. They don't kill people. Seriously. So I think that in this documentary, and I agree with Aaron's fiance. I agree with her 100%. She said, why do you have to make everything about his sexuality? Because there's so much more to him than just that. And same thing with the lawyer. The lawyer said, it's simple. It's very simple. He had advanced brain disease and he didn't have impulse control. Think about this. Here, let me ask you this question. Let me break this down for you, okay? How many of you, give me a yes or no answer to this question. How many of you have ever been so pissed off at somebody that you wanted to punch them in the face and possibly even kill them? Or like you wanted to hit somebody, choke them, slam them, beat their ass right there in the grocery store. Like, you know, maybe your child's teacher said something smart aleck and you wanted to slap the shit out of her. Maybe you saw an ex, you know, and they cheated on you and you wanted to pull out something from the kitchen and cut their heart out. Like, seriously, how many of you have ever wanted to be violent with another person because you were that pissed off? How many of you have ever felt that way? Most of us have, right? Yes or no? Okay. Well, here's what happens in your brain. I'm not a brain scientist, but I'm going to break it down real simple. What happens is you have this part of your brain called the id. The id wants to go bust that ass, right? The id is like, let's go. I'm down for whatever. Let's go fuck this person up, right? The id is like, let's go do it. The id wants to do what you impulsively want to do. Like if the id sees, the id is like the little kid, and it rhymes with kid, so it's kind of like the kid inside your brain that says, "Ooh, there's some chocolate. Let's go eat some chocolate. Ooh, she's cute. She got a big booty. Let's go get that. Ooh, oh, that mother, they pissed me off. Let's hit him in the face." Right? The id wants to do things that make you into an animal, right? And now, why don't you do that? Why is it that you know when you get mad at somebody that you want to punch out, you don't actually punch them out? You know, well, something happens in your brain. There's another part of your brain, and these are the ego and the super ego. Now, what the ego and the super ego do, they're kind of like the parents. They kind of say to the id, like, "Oh, chill out, chill out. You do know that if we do this, the ego says, no, 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 no. If you do this, you're gonna go to jail. I know you want to knock his ass out. I know he deserves it, but you can't do it because you'll get locked up. So stay cool, right? And the super ego is the part that actually controls morality, that says, yeah, you could get away with it, but it would be unethical. So the super ego is like, let's say that you're a married man and you see something that's looking kind of good and you're like, I think I want to go get that, right? So the id is like, okay, we about to have dinner tonight. It's going to be all right, right? And then the ego says, well, it's not illegal. I mean, you can have sex with who you want, right? But the super ego says, now, if you do this, you're going to hurt your wife's feelings. She's going to be upset with you. You're going to feel like a bad person. You're going to have a lot of guilt. So you don't do it, right? So you got these different layers in your brain that protect you from your crazy self, that protect you from your impulses. Well, what happens to NFL players? Again, I am not a brain scientist when I say this is me just from books I've read and me kind of breaking some things down for you. NFL players, when they are taking all those hits to the head, they lose that ability to have impulse control. A lot of them lose that ego and super ego that you have that stops you from doing the things that you really want to do. So you might want to punch the person out. You don't do it because your ego and super ego are there to give you impulse control. Well, Aaron Hernandez, because he had advanced brain disease, did not have those stopgaps to keep him from doing things that would get him into trouble. If he felt the urge to kill, he might go kill. If he wanted to punch somebody out, he might just punch him out. And this is not just Aaron. There have been many NFL players who have done things like that. There have been many NFL players who have done things where you're like, what the hell? Why would he do that? Why would you hit that lady? Or why did you punch that guy out? Or why did you stab that person? Well, because they get this rage. And if the brain damage is a specific type, they can't control the impulse the way you can. So they are operating with a disability. They are operating, many of these former athletes are operating with a disability. So to expect an NFL player who has taken hits to the head year after year after year, who has advanced brain disease, to expect them to have the same impulse control as a person who has never played in that sport is like looking at a person with one leg and expecting them to run as fast as a person with two. Aaron Hernandez had a disability called significant brain damage. If Aaron Hernandez were mentally retarded or developmentally slow or had Down syndrome, he could go to court and they would say he's not fit to stand trial because he's got these psychological issues that keep him from knowing exactly what he did. For athletes, they don't give them that same allowance. They don't have that same consideration, that same understanding. And so you can look at this in a couple of ways, right? You can process it in the context of Aaron, and maybe we advocate for them to change the laws or whatever, or at the very least, you may want to at least look at it for what it is and look at the world for how it operates and at least protect your son. Because if your son goes out there, think about this. If you go out there in this world and you're not in your right mind, people don't care about that. People aren't going to pay attention to that, especially if you're a black man. So I feel like with Aaron Hernandez, I feel like he really was misunderstood. I do think that what he did was wrong. I hated the fact that somebody got shot. I do think that a little mentorship would have helped him. But I think the biggest factor in what Aaron Hernandez did was the brain damage. And I think his fiance knows that. And I admire the fact that she can look beyond his mental illness and still love him anyway, or appreciate, the fact that he was the father of her child. I think that the attorney was right on point. The attorney was like, It's very basic. It's not complicated at all. I think it's the world that wants to do a couple of things. One, they want to make it simple when it's actually complicated. They want to make it into, oh, he was just a knucklehead. He was just stupid. What was wrong with him? And then two, Hollywood wants to make it into a, well, these things all happened because he was conflicted with his sexuality, and so it's better to let people come out of the closet and to celebrate their gayness so they don't go murder people. And that's some bullshit. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. You can celebrate whatever the hell you want, but I do think that keeping secrets conflicts everybody, and most of y'all in here probably got some secrets that you don't want people to know about. So I think that, you know, that's how I would look at the Aaron Hernandez thing. That's how I see it. I liked the documentary. It wasn't bad. They did a good job. They did cover the brain damage part, but I did feel like it was like, okay, every other sentence has to be like, well, when you're gay, this is what happens. And when you're sleeping with men, this is what happens. When you're coming out of the closet, this is what happens. All that came out to me like the agenda. It's just like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get it. But, you know, there's more to this guy than just who he was sleeping with. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button. Please hit the subscribe button. Also, my website is boycewatkins.com. Feel free to visit boycewatkins.com. And I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. Take care. Peace.